Hi folks, what I'm going to do is just give you 10 books that I think are pretty good books. They're not going to change your life. They're not going to bring world peace or anything like that. They're just very good books you should probably read. First one, Women of the Raj, the mothers and wives and daughters who went to India and other areas of the empire. Basically, it's in chronological order. It gives us the history from a woman's point of view, first person sources, stuff like that. If you've never gotten into history of India or the British, this is a good way to do it because it's entertaining. It also lets you see, why are they there? What do they get out of it? Okay? Second book. If you're into Alexander the Great, it's very important. I mean, you're really into it. Not just okay, let's see the battles and go on to the next thing. You really have to understand the engineering and logistics behind his conquest, because if you don't know how that happened, it really is a two-dimensional history, and it's actually a lot of fun to read, and it's not really a very big book. Okay? Third, this is probably, you've heard of this before, Custard Died for Your Sins. You really should read it. He's not going to blame everything on you. It's funny, and frankly, I enjoyed it. And like I said, you've heard of it before. You're just going to have to read it sooner or later anyway. Okay? Good. Read it. Last and First Men, one of the great sci-fi novels of all time. It influenced a lot of people. H.G. Wells, Arthur C. Clarke. If you're a sci-fi fan, you don't read this, you're not a sci-fi fan. Sorry. Okay, Liquid Life, about abortion and Buddhism. In Japan, there's pro-life, pro-choice, and then there's Buddhists. Life is sacred, but life is in stages. You're not really a fully developed human being until maybe your third, fourth year. So while abortion is bad, it's not the end. That spirit or person's gone back to try again. And they also point out you should have sympathy for the mother. It's not like they do this intentionally. Some of them might have had a hard decision, and you should really show some sympathy. So this is a third way of looking at it, showing that there's not just black and white, right or wrong, yes or no. Very important to understand that. Religion and Empire. This is about the Incas and the Aztec. It's one of the first books I got after I left college. I realized that most of the information I got in college, while more detailed than high school, was still outdated. In fact, this information was probably being published, researched, while I was still in college learning the old theories about the Aztec and the Incas. So it's very important to keep updated even if you're no longer in college, okay? That's a good book right there. Alright, Within the Realm of Happiness, short stories. This author actually is a person in Bhutan, excuse me. I bought this at the Folklife Festival. It's one of those countries that fascinate me. They thought of the gross national happiness. And this gentleman basically woke up one day, realized he wasn't going to be a rock star. He started writing short stories for the newspapers, and they're wonderful. It's a nice little cover. You may or may not be able to find this on Amazon.com. Gentleman goes to teach in China, letter from China. Very wonderful. He really gives you a lot of information about China. Fortunately, he died. And the last few letters are actually from the students to the family. So it's heartwarming and a little sad near the end. White Hunters. I know this, if you're not into hunting, this might not be something for you, but it gives actually the history of Africa chronologically, chapter to chapter, through the eyes of hunters and safari people. So, first chapter will talk about some people, and one of those people become the major character of the next chapter, so on and so forth. Clark Gable and a lot of people on here, because Hollywood also went to Africa, and these guys are the people who became the photo safari people and helped Hollywood film all those movies. It's actually pretty good. You will have this urge to play violent video games afterwards, but it's pretty good. Number 10 and last is Bananas, American History. It's actually very interesting. Law, politics, economics, interaction between North and South America. It actually is quite fascinating, and also explains that you don't really have to freeze your bananas. Even if they're black, you can still eat them. Ta-da! 10 books. Read them. Love them. Yeah.